After studying this module, you shall be able to know about throttling process. Learn why Joule-Thomson effect is known as isenthalpic process. Differentiate between Joule-Thomson coefficient of an ideal gas and Joule-Thomson coefficient of real gas. Derive Joule-Thomson coefficient. Introduction. In thermodynamics, the effect called Joule-Thomson effect was discovered in 1852. This effect was named after two physicists, James Prescott Joule and William Thomson. This effect is the change in temperature of a real gas or liquid when it is forced to pass through porous plug or valve while it is kept insulated so that exchange of heat with the environment is not possible. This process is called throttling process or Joule-Thomson effect. This effect is mainly used in thermal machines such as refrigerators, heat pumps and air conditioners. This effect is discussed in detail in the next session. Joule-Thomson effect. Let the stream of gas which is at high pressure is allowed to expand by passing through porous plug into region of low pressure or vacuum. The gas gets cool under adiabatic conditions, but hydrogen and helium are exceptions as they get warmed up under similar circumstances. The temperature below which a gas becomes cooler on expansion is known as inversion temperature. For example, the inversion temperature of hydrogen is minus 48 degrees Celsius, while that of helium is minus 242 degrees Celsius. Thus, Joule-Thomson effect can be defined as the phenomenon of temperature change produced when a gas is allowed to expand adiabatically from a region of high pressure to a region of extremely low pressure. This cooling of the gas is basically due to the decrease in the kinetic energy of the gaseous molecules, as some part of this kinetic energy is utilized in overcoming intermolecular van der Waals forces of attraction during expansion. The Joule-Thomson effect is very small when a gas approaches ideal behavior. Thus, for an ideal gas, Joule-Thomson effect is zero. Therefore, no absorption or evolution of heat takes place when expansion of an ideal gas occurs, that is Q equal to 0. This is because in an ideal gas there are no intermolecular van der Waals forces of attraction. Thus, there is no expenditure of energy in overcoming these forces during expansion. Further, when expansion of ideal gas occurs in vacuum, then no work is done since pressure against which it expands is 0. From the first law equation, we can say that delta U is also equal to 0. Thus, when an ideal gas undergoes expansion under adiabatic conditions in vacuum, no change takes place in its internal energy. In other words, the internal energy of a given quantity of an ideal gas at a constant temperature is independent of its volume. That is, del U by del V at constant temperature is equal to 0. An ideal gas may therefore be defined thermodynamically by two equations. Number 1, PV is equal to constant at constant temperature. Number 2, del U by del V at constant temperature is 0. The quantity del U by del V at constant temperature is called the internal pressure and it is 0 for ideal gas. Joule-Thomson coefficient mu Jt. Joules and Thomson derived the relationship between fall of pressure of a gas on expansion and resulting lowering of temperature by performing the technique. This is the diagram. As you can see, a tube made up of a non-conducting material is fitted with the porous plug G in the middle and the two pistons A and B on the sides as shown in the given figure. The tube is thoroughly insulated to ensure adiabatic conditions. Let the volume of gas enclosed between the piston A and the porous plug G at pressure P1 is V1. This volume is forced to pass through porous plug by moving the piston A inwards. At the same time, the volume of gas enclosed between porous plug G piston B, that is V2, is allowed to expand at a lower pressure P2 by moving the piston B outwards as shown in the figure. Therefore, work done on the system at the piston A is plus P1 V1 and the work done by the system at the piston B is minus P2 V2. Then net work done by the system is equal to minus P2 V2 plus P1 V1. Since the expansion of the gas is done adiabatically, that is, no exchange of heat takes place between the system and surroundings, thus the work is done by the system at the expense of internal energy only. Let the internal energy of the system changes from U1 to U2. Therefore, minus P2 V2 plus P1 V1 equal to U2 minus U1, which further gives U2 plus P2 V2 equal to U1 plus P1 V1, which is equivalent to H2 equal to H1 or delta H is equal to 0. This states that Joule-Thomson expansion of a real gas occurs with constant enthalpy and not with constant internal energy. According to this, the process is known as isoenthalpic process. Taking enthalpy as a function of temperature and pressure, the total differential of the enthalpy can be given as dH equal to del H by del P at constant temperature dP plus del H by del T at constant pressure into dt. But delta H by del T at constant pressure is equal to Cp. Therefore, if we substitute this equation into the earlier one, we get del H equal to del H by del P at constant temperature T dP plus Cp dt. Since for adiabatic expansion del H is equal to 0, hence del H by del P at constant temperature T dP plus Cp dt should be equal to 0. If we rearrange this, we will get del T by del P at constant enthalpy is equal to minus del H by del P at constant temperature upon Cp. This quantity del T by del P at constant enthalpy is called Joule-Thomson coefficient and is denoted by mu Jt. For small pressure range, the equation 6 can also be written as del T equal to del H by del P at constant temperature into del P upon Cp and with the minus sign. In the above equation, del T is the fall of temperature and del P is the fall of pressure. Joule-Thomson coefficient for an ideal gas. Since H is equal to U plus PV, if we substitute this value, we get del T by del P at constant enthalpy is equal to mu Jt equal to minus 1 over Cp del U plus PV upon del P at constant temperature. If we rearrange this, we will get minus 1 by Cp into del U by del V into del V by del P at constant temperature plus del PV upon del P at constant temperature. As the internal energy of an ideal gas at constant temperature is independent of its volume, that is, for an ideal gas, del U by del V at constant temperature is 0. Therefore, del U by del V at constant temperature into del V by del P at constant temperature is equal to 0. Also, PV is independent of temperature in the case of ideal gas. Therefore, del PV by del P at constant temperature is equal to 0. Hence, the equation will become mu Jt equal to 0. This shows that Joule-Thomson coefficient for an ideal gas is 0. Now, we will discuss about Joule-Thomson coefficient for a real gas. There is no Joule-Thomson effect for ideal gas, but real gas do have Joule-Thomson effect. So, we can conclude that the Joule-Thomson effect depends, internal energy is dependent on change in volume. That is, del U by del V at constant temperature is positive for real gas. This can be explained as follows. Consider the expansion of real gas in vacuum. In such expansion, no external work is done since the external pressure is 0. But some work will definitely be done in separating the gas molecules against the intermolecular forces of attraction, that is the van der Waals forces. This work is stored in the gas in the form of potential energy. In other words, the potential energy of the gas increases and hence kinetic energy decreases by an equivalent amount if no heat is exchanged between the system and the surroundings. Due to this, the temperature of the gas falls, but in the present case, temperature is kept constant by the absorption of heat from the outside. Therefore, the kinetic energy remains constant. Thus, during isothermal expansion of real gas, there is net increase in the energy of the gas. Hence, del U by del V at constant temperature is positive. But the factor del V by del P at constant temperature in equation 8 is negative, because at constant temperature, as the pressure of the gas increases, the volume of the gas decreases. Therefore, this factor becomes negative. It is observed that at ordinary temperatures and when the pressure is not very high, the value of PV decreases as the pressure increases, except for H2 and helium. That is, del PV by del P at constant temperature is negative. Thus, under such conditions, both the terms within the brackets of equation 8 are negative. Since the heat capacity is always positive, it states that the Joule-Thomson coefficient del T by del P at constant enthalpy is positive for real gases at ordinary temperatures and at low and moderate temperatures. Thus, if delta P is negative, then delta T is also negative. That is, if there is fall in pressure of the gas, then temperature of the gas also falls. In other words, the temperature of a gas falls as a result of its throttle expansion. Now, considering the high pressure conditions, it is observed that with the increase of pressure of the gas, the value of PV for all gases also increases. That is, del PV by del P at constant temperature becomes positive. The factor del U by del V at constant temperature into del V by del P at constant temperature in this case remains almost constant. Thus, one of the term within the bracket is negative and practically constant, while the other term is positive and its magnitude increases with increase in pressure. Therefore, with increase in pressure, the magnitude of Joule-Thomson coefficient goes on decreasing and finally becomes 0 when these two terms equal in magnitude. Further, if the pressure goes on increasing, the magnitude of the positive term exceeds that of the negative term. In such case, Joule-Thomson coefficient becomes negative. Therefore, if delta P is negative, then delta T is positive. That is, if the pressure of the gas falls, then the temperature increases. Now, the derivation of Joule-Thomson coefficient and inversion temperature. The Joule-Thomson coefficient can be calculated with the help of the van der Waals equation. Considering the van der Waals equation, P plus n square A upon V square into V minus NB equal to nRT. In this equation, both terms A and B are small. Hence, the term AB by V square can be neglected when the pressure of the system is low. By rearranging this equation, neglecting term AB by V square, we get PV is equal to RT minus A by V plus BP, which is equation number 11. Substituting V by RT by P, we get PV is equal to RT minus AP by RT plus BP. Dividing the whole equation by P, we get V equal to RT by P minus A by RT plus B. Differentiating with respect to temperature at constant pressure, we get del V by del T at constant pressure equal to R by P plus A by RT square. Rearranging this particular equation, we get RT equal to P into V minus B plus AP by RT. Now divide both sides by PT, we get R by P equal to V minus B by T plus A by RT square, which is equation number 16. Now replace the value of R by P from equation 16 in equation 14. We get T into del V by del T at constant pressure minus V equal to 2A by RT minus P, which is equation number 18 now. Now using the thermodynamic relation V equal to T, del V by del T at constant pressure plus del H by del P at constant pressure, which is equation 19. Then equation 18 can be rewritten as minus delta H by del P at constant temperature equal to 2A by RT minus P, which is equation number 20. Now from equation 6 and 20 we get to del T by del P at constant enthalpy equal to 1 by Cp into 2A by RT minus P. From the above expression we conclude that Joule-Thomson coefficient will be positive when 2A by RT is greater than B. It will become 0 when 2A by RT is equal to B, and negative if 2A by RT is less than B. Since A, B and R are constants, therefore magnitude and sign of Joule-Thomson coefficient will be dependent only on the temperature at which expansion of the gas occurred. The temperature at which the expansion of the gas occurred and the sign of the Joule-Thomson coefficient changes is known as inversion temperature. At this temperature, mu Jt is equal to 0. Thus, equation 21 will be 0 when the term inside the parenthesis will be 0. Therefore, we get 2A by RTI equal to B, or Ti, that is inversion temperature, equal to 2A by RB, where Ti stands for inversion temperature. Thus, inversion temperature is dependent on the van der Waals constant A and B of the gas. Mu Jt equal to 1 by Cp into 2A by RT minus P. Summary. The temperature a gas becomes cooler on expansion is known as inversion temperature. Thus, Joule-Thomson effect can be defined as the phenomenon of temperature change produced when a gas is allowed to expand adiabatically from a region of high pressure to a region of extremely low pressure. Joule-Thomson expansion of a real gas occurs with constant enthalpy and not with constant internal energy. This is known as isenthalpic process. Joule-Thomson coefficient is given by del T by del P at constant enthalpy equal to minus del H by del P at constant temperature by Cp. Joule-Thomson coefficient for ideal gas is 0, and finally Joule-Thomson coefficient for real gas is given by del T by del P at constant enthalpy equal to 1 by Cp into 2A by RT minus B.